Hello and welcome to this expanded subtraction method video for year 3. I'm going to go over a few examples before moving on to exchanging, and then in a separate video we'll be looking at missing number problems. Feel free to grab a pencil and a piece of paper and join in with me, and feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward as you need to. Brilliant, let's get started. Right, I've already got my number sentence set up here. I've got 59 take away 24, and I'm trying to work out what that is. What does it equal? If I were to draw that in a bar model, it would look something like this. I would have 59 on the top, that's the whole. One of the parts is 24, and I'm trying to work out what that other part is. This is an expanded method. We're going to be using a similar series of steps to the expanded addition method that we looked at weeks ago now. And if you remember, the first step to that was partitioning out your numbers. So I'm going to make sure I know my tens and my ones. So I've got my tens, 5 tens, 9 ones in one number, and I've got 2 tens and 4 ones in the other. I'm going to break that down, so I'm going to have my tens on this side, and I'm going to have my ones over here, leaving a bit of space just in case I need to do anything extra around. Start off with this number here, so I've got 59. Remember, with subtraction it's always really important which number goes first, and you need to start with your bigger number. I know 59 is the bigger number because it's got 5 tens, and that's definitely bigger than 2 tens. So I'm going to turn my 50 down there, my 9 goes across in the ones, 50 on the tens, 9 in the ones. Going on to that second number, 24, I'm going to put my 20 in the tens, and 4 ones. And then making sure I've got my subtraction operation. Now I can even put it there as an extra reminder. I'm going to try and draw a neat line across underneath. That line is there obviously to show that anything underneath is the answer. So I'm not going to be taking away or adding anything else. Start with my ones, always start with your ones. It's really good practice for when we get into exchanging. You will need to start with the ones. So I've got 9, take away 4, which is 5. 50, take away 20, which is 30. And then just like with the expanded addition, I recombine them. So that becomes 30 plus 5, which is 35. So the answer to our number sentence, 59 take away 24, is 35. That can also go into our box there. Cool, that's a really lovely simple example with 2-digit numbers. We're going to have a look now at 3-digit numbers. Okay, now we're going to move into subtracting 3-digit numbers using this expanded subtraction method. Just like before, we're going to need to partition. So I'm going to make sure for myself I know which one of the hundreds, tens and the ones are. Fun fact, we don't use the term units anymore for the ones column, just because it can be a bit confusing if we're talking about units of measurement, which are millimeters, centimeters, litres, grams, kilograms, and then units where we're actually just talking about the place value of a particular digit in a number. So we tend to say ones now. So partitioning it out, now we've got our hundreds, we've got our tens, and we've got our ones, and I've put quite big spaces there. Reading the biggest number first, which is 537. So I've got 530 and 7. Taking away, so that's got to be underneath, 200. I'm just going to change my pen colour. 10 and 5. Now it's all set up, I need to work out each part to start with. So I'm going to start with my units. 7 take away 5, which is 2. I've got 30 take away 10 is 20, and 500 take away 200, which is 300. Now because we've partitioned it, we have to put it back together. So I've got 320 and 2, 322. Nice and straightforward. Your first bunch of questions are going to be non-exchanging. They're going to be in this vein. You've got a choice between hot and spicy questions. Choose which difficulty you want to go with and enjoy. Right, now we're going to move on to exchanging with our expanded subtraction method. Okay, this is exchanging with the expanded subtraction method for year 3s. As you can see, I've already set up my page. I've got my number sentence, 62, take away 29, when I'm trying to find the answer. I've partitioned out into tens and ones, so I've got 60 and 20 on the one side, 2 and 9 on the ones. As you've probably already spotted, there's a bit of a problem. In the ones column, we seem to be trying to take away 9 from 2, but that would give us an answer that's less than 0. And that's not an answer that we want. We definitely, when we're doing subtraction, we always want to have it so that the bigger number is on the top. But I can't swap anything round. I've got to keep them as they are. This is where exchanging comes in. Exchanging is a way of making that top number bigger so that we can finish the number sentence. I'll just recap. We're looking at exchanging. Exchanging is only happening when we are doing subtraction problems. You only have to exchange when the top number is smaller than the bottom number. So in this case, 2, the top number, is smaller than the bottom number, which is 9. That is when we exchange. Okay. What is exchanging? Well, exchanging is a way of making that 2 bigger than the 9. And we do that by taking from the next column over. So in this case we're looking at our ones column. So we're going to be taking from the tens column. And we're going to take 10 because it's the tens column. I'm going to take 10 from the tens column, give it to my ones to make it bigger. When I'm exchanging from the tens column, I can see that I need to make that 2 bigger, so I'm going to take 10 from 60. I can't take it from 20 because it's not in the same number. Remember, we started with 62 and 29 is a different number, so we can only take 10 from the same number. So I'm going to take a 10 away from 60. If I take 10 away from 60, that makes that 50. And I'm going to add that 10 over in the ones. So that 2 is now going to become 12. Now when I look, I've got 12 take away 9 in the ones column and 50 take away 20 in the tens column. In both cases, I've got my bigger number on the top, so I can successfully take away, I can do the subtraction without a problem. 12 take away 9 would equal 3. 50 take away 20 would equal 30. Combining back up again gives me 33 as my answer. Let's look at another example together. Let me just get my pen ready. So this time around we're going to do, I'll do another 2-digit number. We'll do 74 take away 58. Partition it out, so I've got 70 and 4, and I've got 50 and 8 under my ones and my tens, respectively. And I'm taking away. Looking at my ones column, I can see already 8 is bigger than 4. I can't do 4 take away 8, so that tells me I will need to exchange. I will need to exchange from the tens column because that's the next column along. Taking from the tens, I can only take 10. So I'm going to exchange 10 from the tens column, which will make that down to 60. Exchange the 10 to the 4, which will make it 14. I've only taken one 10. You will never need to take more than one 10. Always with exchanging, it's one 10 goes across, because adding 10 to a one-digit number is always going to make it bigger than the number that's below in our method that we're looking at. I've then got 14 take away 8 in the ones column, and I've got 60 take away 50 in the tens column, so it still works, everything works. Now I've got my biggest numbers on the top, and I've got my smaller numbers on the bottom. I've got 14 take away 8, which would equal 6. And I've got 60 take away 50, which is 10. Because it's my expanded method, I put the 10 and the 6 back together to make 16. If you think about it in terms of deans, I'll try and draw some really quickly. What we're doing here is, so I've got 4 here, so that's 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm taking away 8, and on this side I've got 7 tens, because I'm dealing with 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know that I cannot take away 8 from 4 ones. I can try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can't get 5, 6, 7, 8 out. So I have to exchange. And all I'm doing in that case then is let's see if I can do that. I'm going to move one of these 10s, or I'm not going to move one of these 10s. I'm going to move a 10 over I'm going to move the 10 from the 10s to the 1s to make sure I can do it. Then I've got 14. Technically that would split up, wouldn't it? I'd have to split the 10 up into 1s, and doing that would give me 10 extra 1s. So I'd cross through that and I'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which would allow me really easily to do the takeaway 8. So now I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like we said. And then over here, I've lost a 10, haven't I? I don't have 6 anymore. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I haven't got 7 anymore. I've got 6. And I could take away 5 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To leave me only 10 left. If it helps you, you could do the jottings like this in order to think about what's happening with the exchange. I'm going to work through one more example. I'll include some Dean's jottings as well, this time looking at 3-digit numbers. Okay, so this time I'm looking at 3-digit numbers. It doesn't get any more complicated, but we might not be exchanging from the same place. Remembering that when we're exchanging from the next column over. Let's just sort out my pen. So this time I've got hundreds. This time I've got hundreds, tens, and ones. Hundreds, tens, and ones. So I'm going to put my hundreds here, I'm going to put my tens here, and I'm going to put my ones over here. I've got 726, that's this number here. And I've got 450 and 5, that number there. Let's have a look at my number sentences to see if they need to exchange or not. So start with my ones. Well, I've got 6, take away 5, bigger numbers on the top, smaller numbers on the bottom. There's no exchanging there. 6 take away 5, that's 1. Brilliant. Hop across. My tens now. I've got 20, take away 50. Aha! We have a problem. I can't do 20 take away 50. Not going to work. So I'm going to have to exchange, because the top number is smaller than the bottom number. I can't exchange from the ones, that wouldn't help. If I took a 1 from there, that would make that 21. So if I took the 1 from the 6, that would make that 21. 21 to go 50, no better. So we always are going to exchange from the next highest column. For tens it would be hundreds, for hundreds it would be thousands. So that's where we're going to exchange from. I'm going to exchange from this 700. I'm not going to take 10. Because this is the hundreds column, I'm going to exchange 100. Because it's the hundreds column, I'm exchanging 100. Okay. Exchanging my 100 then, I'm just going to change colour. There we go. I'm going to exchange 100, so 100 from 700 is 600. I'm going to move that 100 over to make this now 120. If I've got 120, take away 50, that's now definitely big enough to do. Using my number bonds, I know 50 is made up of 20 and 30, so take away 20 from 120 is 100, take away 30 is 70. Job done. Into my hundreds column, I've got 600, take away 400, that's fine, I don't have to do any exchanging there, and that's 200. Putting it back together, that's 271, and that's my answer. I'm going to show you what that would look like with the Deans, in case that's helpful for you. So I will just do a quick squiggly line underneath. So if I was looking at it with the Deans, yeah, let's use blue, and let's use purple, no, green. So for the ones, obviously I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the tens, I had 20, so that's 2 tens. And with the hundreds, let's make those red. I've got 700 to start with, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. 6 take away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there were no problems there. That left us with 1. 20 take away 50. We knew we couldn't do because you go 1. 10, 20. There's nothing to take away for the remaining 3 tens. So I need to exchange. With my exchange, I'm going to move this 100 over to here. So now that says 120. Of course, it's not much help if you're working in Deans to have it as the 100 and the 2 tens, so you're going to break it down. So I will break that back down. I know that 10 tens are in 100, so I've got to add 10 tens. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can then take away quite easily. I'm taking away 50, so that's 5 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I'm left with 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Cool. I've then got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Take away 400, so that's 100, 200, 300, 400. Leaves us with 200. I hope that's been helpful. Please go back and rewatch if you need to, and if you need to send any quick questions, do so. There is also guidance in the adult guidance pack in the home learning pack that came out. Feel free to use it or send a message through. Good luck.